We're talking with Esai Morales and Lourdes Colon. And Lourdes, I know that you really wanted to help people with this, with your whole disease process, and you've created the documentary, and I'm really, I honor that. But this had to be hard. Talk to me about how hard this was.
It was hard, and what made it hard was to continually stay positive while I was on camera.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I remember where I had like 5% usage of my lungs. And wow. I had one lung that was completely gone, one that had just like that much usage, you know. It was filled with fluid. I was barely breathing. I had like days left to live. It was really, really bad.
Okay, days left to live.
And you say that and left. Come on. Come on.
Because I like to push the push the envelope there. Yeah, it was. I was at the end, and
tell the trajectory. Basically, when we were first diagnosed, you said you were going to fight it with your doctor, right? Or you're going to do it all by yourself?
I was going to do it naturally and by myself, and then but I wanted people to also understand what spread cancer. Yeah. You know, when you have cancer, what things to avoid, and so you know, against my daughter and my husband,
and better judgment.
Well, I still don't regret it, but I really wanted people to get that there's things that we do that can make it worse, and so I chose to take that step and show them and say, see, this is how the cancer is now, and I do this, and say this is what spread it, and then you see the enormous growth within days.
Oh,
so
by that evening, she was not feeling well. By that evening, she could feel the
growth. It was really disgustingly gross.
The tumor's coming back.
Yeah, and so
it's after a specific radiation type of.
Well, yeah, it's a test they do, you know, to stage it.
We don't want to legally get in any trouble to encourage a certain technique.
It's just that, you know, it's good to be informed.
Yeah.
So that, you know, each patient can say, do I want to risk taking that test or not? Yeah. You know, if I have cancer, why don't you do the test? We already got this. Let's not battle it.
What qualifying questions did you ask to determine if you're going to do an alternative treatment?
Oh, actually what I did, well, I knew immediately I wanted to do alternative because I saw so many of my family and friends who got cancer and did treatments and saw the quality of life they had, and I just didn't want to live that.
Option A was not attractive.
I think it's so important to be able to find a physician that you can partner with to work through, you know, is this a treatment that can assist you and is legitimate? Were you able to find a physician who would partner with you?
Yes. It took a bit because, you know, a lot of times when you go to a doctor and you say, I'm not going to do chemo, this is what I want to do, they really don't want to work with you.
Right.
It's really finding that doctor that cares enough to say, okay, let's do what you want to do, and let's monitor it and then work with you and give you all the information. Because you have doctors that will give you the information. It's like, well, you know, these are the things that they have now with technology, and you still have that choice. So it was very important to find that doctor, and I was blessed with having that doctor.
I think there's so many things you can do even from a lifestyle standpoint with your diet to help boost your immune system. And sometimes that's something that's not really talked about with cancer patients. Were there things that you did with your diet to help boost your immune system?
Oh, absolutely. There was many things. That was the very first thing I started researching is what can I do to build my immune system, give myself a fighting chance? And there's so many things out there to really boost your immune system. One that I just not too fond of was wheatgrass.
Some of them don't taste very good.
It's so painful. Was wheatgrass, and you know it has. It's got great properties.
But it's funny. You get used to it, though.
Yeah,
you get used to it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I met people that loved wheatgrass. I'm like, how is that possible? You know, but it really did make a difference, and it does build your immune system. And what I found, even taking wheatgrass, is I watched tumors shrinking just by doing the wheatgrass alone. So there is many things to do, but I think it's really important to educate yourself because it's not just one thing. You know, it's a combination of things. It's really staying away from things like sugar and processed foods and artificial flavors and all that, and really take your life back. And then, you know, in meditation and prayers and just, it's the whole thing. Because I remember when I was in a coma that, and I know I was supposed to have any memory of it, but I did. When I was in a coma, I actually had the privilege to see everybody panic and they're like just, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh, I want to tell them I'm okay. I was completely fine. You know, for me, I thought I was like in this all-Asian place with all Asian doctors and that they were pumping me with all these natural herbs and that the herbs are actually healing me.
You thought you were in a Chinese medicine place.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, I had no idea I was here in California, you know, right at the hospital. But
Esai, that's going to be difficult for you watching, though, your friend now go through this.
The thing that was interesting is that, you know, I didn't know just how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then we hear this is what we're doing, and I'm like, well, how can I help? And you know, we put it on Facebook, and man, so much love.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good thing. People contributed. We said, listen, we have one of ours is down and needs help. And that's the thing about community, where people pull together. There's nothing like that.
Thank you so much for your vulnerability and sharing your story. It is much, much, much appreciated. And thank you, Esai,
Thank you, Mike.
for your part in this as well. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in a moment.
We'll be right back.
We have had a fascinating conversation today. I hate to see this show end, but Obi, you had a question you wanted to ask before we go.
Well, we all know that exercise is great and it helps to prevent lots of different diseases. Was exercise vital to you in helping you to fight cancer, even when you probably didn't have the energy to exercise?
oh yes, it's very vital because actually when you exercise, it stimulates the immune system. So one of the things I did for exercise is I'd put music and I would dance.
Okay.
That was my movement to get
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
lift your spirits.
It brings a
it's
sense
so
of
vital.
joy.
Absolutely. So
Also-
it gave me both.
Also, one of the most detoxifying things you can do is sweat profusely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And breathe. And I play tennis as voraciously as I can, or basketball or softball, but things that keep you breathing, sweating, and in the sunlight. People are told, stay away from the sunlight. I think that's a mistake that we'll
Yeah, it
find
is.
out later.
It is.
Stay away from abusing the sunlight if you're very fair, but even fair people need the vitamin D and calcium processes that happen
Absolutely.
from the sun and not from supplements.
And we know there are links to vitamin D deficiency in certain types of cancer. So
Major.
getting out in the sun, getting fresh air, really important for your
Actually, I
immune
think
system.
most Americans are deficient in vitamin D.
Yes, they are.
Sadly.
How important was your family in helping you to help fight this thing? Because you can't do this alone.
Right. Very important. And I actually, one of the things I think people need to understand when someone's fighting cancer is you need your friends and family to really support you. You know, when you're battling cancer, the last thing you want to do is battle your family and friends as well, because that becomes overwhelming. So you should really be focused on what you need to do to get better, and your family should be supportive in any decision you make.
So what's your advice to family members? How do they support best?
I think the best way of support is figure out what that person wants to do and then support them with that, and then do the research with them and bring them stuff that they
Okay.
know. that
So
would
whatever
help
their
them.
decision is,
Help
Go
you get on
with it.
board.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the one thing really quickly. You get a lot of skepticism from family members that are used to just hearing one thing. Don't laugh at the hope and the desires of someone who wants to educate. Don't be intellectually lazy. The more you read about it, the better you become at knowing about it.
Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. We truly appreciate this. Esai Morales and Lourdes Colon, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a part of this one as well. We look forward to seeing you again next time. But until then, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
That was a hard 2:30.
Thanks for watching Lifestyle Magazine. Visit us online at lifestyle.org, where you can watch more programs and get more information on our guests.